So I got a request today for a session, and the person was actually having a hard time finding practitioners because they said that the other person had said they couldn't work with them. So I'm like, well, tell me a little bit what you're looking for. And it was like, I really want intimacy and I really want to be touched. I'm like, well, describe a little bit of what that looks like. Well, they said I would really want to feel sensual. I go, how do you define sensual? And I knew that asking someone how do they define sensual was going to be complicated because most people don't know what that exactly means, or it's assumed you know what sensual means. So I said, is it like you really want to feel a lot of heat and excitement? And they're like, well, of course that's what it is. And I'm like, so this service isn't for you. What I provide is not for you. I don't do that. So what I'm going to do right now is I made a quick list of all the ways in which there's this kind of sensual way of cuddling, and then there's the platonic not sensual way. Well, that word sensual, we'll break it down a little bit in a second. Just kind of quickly going through and explaining so that if you are interested in a platonic touch and cuddling session, or someone like myself or someone in the industry, you can kind of figure out if this is for you or not. Because cuddling can be done in so many different ways, and we're just going to focus on two. So let's do it. Sensual is the awakening and gratification of the senses. All of them, right? Touch, taste, smells, sight. And in contrast, what I do is awakening a connection. See the difference? You and I were both human. We're here in the same space. It's that connection that we're awakening with another human being. All right, next word. I'll say arousing. Yes, I want to feel aroused. When I hear that word, I'm like, eek, okay. Like that's a word that I have to ask more questions, right? As opposed to a platonic session, which is slowing down. It's not arousing. Arousing is building up. Slowing down and making you feel sleepy even. Right, see the difference? See what we're creating here? Completely different. Someone said, like that person I described in the beginning, heat. They wanted to feel hot. Oh, like rip clothes off, kind of hot, right? I'm assuming. It's like heat within. As opposed to what I do, the more of a platonic touch is actually cooling on the inside, but there's heat on the skin, right? Because you're, up against someone. The heat is there potentially, or like you put the blankets on because it's kind of cold outside like right now. So you're creating heat between the bodies, but there's not the heat within. Next one, pleasure-centered, right? Like, okay, you're seeking out pleasure. And the other one is more nurtured-centered. See, again, this is a slight distinction, not a slight one, but it's a huge distinction. But again, we're doing nurturing and not pleasure. The other one is excitement and stimulation, right? Again, like feeling excited and stimulated and ready to go. What I do is more relaxation. So, yeah. And if you're building excitement and it doesn't go anywhere, how about frustration, right? So here, when you're just relaxing, it's fantastic because you're just being in that space. Now, this is getting into some physiological things. Increased blood flow. That's huge. As opposed to what I do is actually blood flow slows down. So what we're looking at is lowering your blood pressure instead of raising it. Increase body movements. Yes, go, go, go. I've noticed that when clients are getting really handsy, then I know, okay, something's up. As opposed to what I'm really looking for is body movements slow down, right? Just like the blood, body slows down. Hands are moving. Hands are a really big indicator of what's going on. If there's a lot of hand motions, something's up. As opposed to what I have is there may be a light caress or a light touch, maybe a hold, but that's it. There's not a lot of hand motions. Lips need contact. Those lips are looking to land somewhere. I'll allow one peck. I think that's sweet. But when lips start wanting to move a lot of different places, then we're building that more excited state. As opposed to mouth slight open when someone is just relaxing and you're just there present. Lots of images and thoughts are coming to mind, sexual or even non-sexual, but there's a lot that's happening in the mind. As opposed to what I see in my sessions, our thoughts are slowing down, it's meditative, it's connecting. Yeah. And then, as you can tell in how I've been breathing, increased breathing, and I'm watching for breath. I'm seeing if they're starting to accelerate, then I know again something is up, as opposed to what I'm looking for is breath slowing down.